First, what I would love to see is if you could all go down to your chat box, open it up, and start dropping in the chat where you're calling us from. Tell us what job or industry that you are interested in, kind of your target job, your target industry. And then we would love to see your LinkedIn URL. And so for your LinkedIn URL, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to jump out to another screen, jump out to your browser, go to linkedin.com. And the easiest way to get there is to click on your picture, because that will bring up your profile screen, or profile page. And that URL at the top of the search bar is the one you want to click on, copy, and paste it right in here. Thank you, Carl. Just like that. If it's blue, that means we can click on it. If it's not blue, we can't click on it. And so I want to make sure you all make it clickable. So just right click on the URL in your browser search bar and then paste it into here. The reason we want it to be clickable is because we can't save anything in the chat. We have it locked down for security purposes. And so if you make it clickable, then we can just click on you, go right out, and all of us can connect to each other. So we're doing the best we can with what we have. And so Joey, thank you, from Gilbert, a director of client experience. And we're going to click on Joey's URL and go out and connect with her. So again, good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's see, a couple other things. We are not going to be sending out the PowerPoint today. So there's a couple ways that you can check this out later. You can go to our website. We post it on our website at a later point. Usually it takes about a day because of the download and then the upload. So you can check that out there. We also have an awesome blogger on the call today who is furiously writing the content as we are going through. And that full blog takes a couple days, but that will also be posted on our website under our event recap section. All right, so I thought I would start off with a story, with my personal story, if you don't mind. I just want to provide some encouragement to each of you today. So I know 2020 maybe wasn't the best year for many of us. And 2021 is starting off kind of rough in many different areas. And so I just want you to know that I think everybody on the call probably has been through something tough in their life. There's been a tough time, you've gone through a tough thing, and this might be your tough time. Some of you are here because you're working, but you're looking for something different. And that is awesome. Some of you are really thinking through what your future looks like. And you know that our speaker today will be able to help guide you in that. And that's great. And some of you are here because you are really looking for a job and you are kind of desperately looking for a job. And we don't want you to be in the place of desperately looking. We want you to be in the place of finding the right career, the right job, the right match for you. So in 2009, so circle back to the last recession, my husband and I were we always joke now, we were kind of living the dream. We had the perfect house. We had 3 kids. We'll still have 3 kids. We have 3 kids. At the time, I had an infant, a 2-year-old, and a 10-year-old. And we were living in the area we wanted to live in, and things were going great. We were also overspending and in debt. And so this is really the time when we learned about debt and how to get out of debt. But lo and behold, the recession hit, and it hit hard. And my husband was laid off 3 times in 6 months. And then I had to close down my small business. And so that left us without jobs, losing our house to short sale, almost foreclosure, but we got it into short sale, moving and becoming renters, and moving schools and trying to figure out just how we were going to make it. And so I was stunned, shocked, and really didn't know our next step forward. And I'd never been in this space. And I know many of you have never been in this space before. And so as I was thinking through what are we going to do, I went to sleep one night, and this is going to sound crazy to some of you on the call, but I went to sleep one night. I woke up the next day and told my husband, I'm like, I know what I'm going to do. And he's like, awesome. What is it? And I said, I'm going to volunteer. I wish you all would have been in the room with us. I thought Mark was going to pass out. He's like, don't you know we're losing our house? What do you mean volunteer? And so I'm like, I don't know. I just had this thought, this dream. I call a God wink, a God moment. And I said, I need to go volunteer. And so I went to my local church and said, can I have a room in the back of the church on Monday nights? And I said, I want to help people write resumes. I want to help people, just try and get a job if we can. And at least I can help them write some resumes. And it's because I have a background in staffing and hiring. And they said, absolutely, we're getting inundated with calls and we really need some help. Okay, so Monday nights I started back of the church with a little, you guys remember those, they still have them, but they're portable video kind of screen, projector screens. I used to carry it up the back of the stairs of the church and set it up so we had a projection screen. It was what we had at the time. And it was me, and I ended up calling in my friend Denise. And so we started meeting, and I asked Denise if she could bring some companies because she was very networked in the company space. And she said, absolutely. Even in the recession, there were companies hiring, and that was a tough recession where there weren't a lot of companies hiring. And so fast forward about 6 or 8 weeks, I got a call. I had landed a contract job for the census of 2010. And I got a call and they said, hey, there's a line around the church. What's going on? And I don't know. We're having an event tonight. And they're like, well, you need to get down here. Well, lo and behold, 250 people showed up that night. And we were regularly serving 25 people. So we went from 25 to 250 people like that overnight. So the cool thing is I had actually, because I was contracting with the census, I had invited the census to come out that day. And the hiring manager, the HR manager, he stands up in the front of the room and he says, I can hire all of you today. I almost passed out. I couldn't believe it. It was shocking to me. So every single person that wanted was able to go through an interview and land a job at the census if they wanted it. And at that time, the census was paying really good, and it was a great gap opportunity for people that needed it at the time. I met so many great friends at the census. So anyway, that happened. And then, we short sold our house after that. A lot of things happened. But I can tell you, had that not happened to me in 2009, I would not be here running this program, have met literally over 40,000 people, and just know some of the greatest people in my life and have a career I'm very proud of and happy with. So if you're in that moment right now, like I was, on my knees, crying, couldn't even barely get off the floor. If you're in that moment right now, you're in the right place today. You are in the right place today, because we are going to do everything we can to convey the hope, the connections, and the encouragement to take that next step forward. We have a lot of great stuff for you today, so make sure you hang on till the end, and we'll get there. Together, we'll get there. We are here to serve you guys and do the best we can. All right, so now that I've done my spiel, Sheila, I'm going to push it over to you for just a minute to go through some of the tech stuff.
Okay, awesome. Good morning. I'm so glad everyone's here. Welcome to a brand new year. Just a couple of logistics things toward the end of the event. I'll throw up some poll questions. The window will appear on your screen. As soon as you answer the question, the window goes away. So we appreciate your feedback. I think Jessica already covered the chat button, but I just want to mention that you can chat to the group or you can chat to an individual while you're here. So we encourage that. That's our form of networking in our virtual world. And we also encourage you to turn your camera on. We love to see your smiling faces. So go ahead and turn your camera on, and you can control where the pictures of those videos appear on your screen by the little icons on top. You can move them around or can just see the speaker or see more. You can play with that. And then there's another thing I wanted to mention. I'm so excited. We are able to have a professional closed captioning available today. So if you are interested in that, you can either type this into your browser, the http://bit.ly or /2021 Jan 14, or if you have a QR scanner on your phone, you can go ahead and scan that code right now. And it'll pop up, it'll open in a browser, and it just has an ongoing dialogue of what we're saying here. So I'm glad we'll be able to offer that. I think that's all I had.
Okay, awesome. So our agenda today is we're going to hear walk and talk that talk, Bridgett McGowen. And then we'll hear from Heather Kitsko, who is with Isola, and they're hiring and launching a great factory here. And so you'll hear about that company. And Robinhood, another new company. So Amanda McBride is here. And then at the end, I will go through some resources. And then we will have some breakout rooms. And so this is fairly new. What we're going to do is at the end, each of the companies and speakers is going to go off into their own breakout room. And then we have some resume writers, LinkedIn coaches, career coaches that are also going to have their own rooms, and you can go engage with them in kind of a one-on-one or a small group format. All right, you guys, we are kicking it off strong. When Sheila was putting together the schedule this year, we were doing a end of the year. We're like dreaming, who are the best of the best? Who are the best of the best? And we said, we know who we want to kick 2021 off with. We want to kick it off with Bridgett. So whatever we can do to get her here, we want her here. Have you ever heard a sound that stopped you in your tracks? What about words that made you stand still and that stayed with you long after an event ended? That is the best way I can describe today's speaker, Bridgett McGowen. Bridgett is an award-winning international professional speaker who is known to be both comical and memorable. She will not just energize you, but she will inspire you to move into spaces and places you never thought you could go. Today, Bridgett is here to share with you how to walk that walk, talk that talk, and how to have people marveling about you and your confidence long after you have left their presence. Please help me welcome Bridgett McGowen.
Jessica, you and your team are so awesome. I appreciate you, and I appreciate all of you in the audience for joining in today. Career Connectors always does a rock star job, and I just feel so honored and so privileged to be able to hang out with Career Connectors. Anytime they call, email, text, I'm saying, I'm on it. Where are you going to be? I want to be there. Listen, everybody, the year 2020 was less than perfect. I mean, we can come up with all kinds of ways to describe it. My description is going to be less than perfect. And as a result, it may have chipped away at your confidence. But at the same time, in some weird way, you saw others who were absolutely fearless. I'm talking about folks who didn't seem one bit phased. They were completely unshakable when it came to what was happening in the pandemic. And how can they do that? How is it unshakable? How do you reestablish your confidence in a new year? How do you turn 2021 into 2020 WON come December 31? What are unspoken strategies that the most confident people use to influence others? I'm going to tell you the most coveted secrets of what they do. I tell you exactly what they say. Get ready to walk the walk and talk that talk so you consistently show up as the most confident person in the room. My name is Bridgett McGowen. I help professionals be the most dynamic, engaging, exciting, confident people on the planet. I am going to have my friends at Career Connectors share with you a slide. And on that slide, I need you to count the number of F's you see. Post in the chat the number of F's you see on that slide. Post the number. Do you see 3? Let's check the chat here. 4? How many F's do you see? 5? 6? Okay. Y'all are total rock stars. Y'all have seen this before. Y'all have seen this before. I only saw a few who fell just short of identifying 6. There were 6 F's. And there was this one little 2-letter word that was easy to miss that ended in of. We'll be sure to get this slide to you so you can torment your family and friends at a later date. When I was first exposed to this, I didn't see all of the F's and I felt a little lame. So I like to share this exercise to pass on that feeling to others, although it didn't work this time because just about all of you found the 6 F's. This is a perfect analogy for discussing communication and confidence. The vast majority of us found all of the F's. However, there were a few of us, me included, who were not as effective as we could have been. We didn't get the number of F's correct. The same is true when it comes to communication and confidence. It's the little things that make a big difference in showing up as the most confident person in the room. And one of those little things is your environment. Your environment make a difference in how your confidence shows up. Here's what I mean. My husband and I live in Chandler, and we have these awesome neighbors across the street. They're retired, 75 and 74 years old. And they've been there probably since 2011, I think. Super cool folks. But before you even cross that street, their front door is right over there. Before you even cross that street, you need to be prepared to take off your shoes before entering their home. And then once you get inside of the home, things don't get much better, as you can imagine. You're not sure if you can lean against the sofa cushions or not. You're using your elbow to wipe your fingerprints off of the hard surfaces. And then when you go into the powder room, can you use the towels to dry your hands, or do you just kind of, yeah. And then there are those neighbors, those friends, their homes, when you visit them, you feel like you're at your own place. Behavior is dictated by environment, and it makes the difference in how your confidence shows up. It makes a difference in how you feel. It makes a difference in whether you feel like you're on top of the world or I'm not really sure how I should respond. Your handling of the recency effect can determine your confidence levels. Those with the greatest confidence are immune to the recency effect. See, this is what the recency effect is. Or let me give you an example. Let's say you've been on a long journey, and during the course of the trip, you see an equal number of yellow cabs and black SUVs. However, toward the last few minutes of your journey, you have an onslaught of yellow cabs that just flood the street. Well, you instinctively think that there were more yellow cabs than there were black SUVs on your trip, when indeed there was an equal number of both types of vehicles. Those who have much confidence are able to see the big picture, are able to focus on the long term. They're able to see and know that no challenge is ever as bad as it seems in the moment. We've been dealing with the pandemic for nearly a year now, and it is hard to see past the moment. We're dealing with craziness in politics, for lack of a better description. And no matter if you lean left or right, it is hard to see past the moment. If your outlook is pessimistic, then you are likely to assume that and believe nothing will get better. Recency effect. It's hard to think that things will change, especially when everything around you for the last week, month, year has not been the greatest. I think about the pandemic in our own household. My husband is an essential worker. During the months of March, April, May, when things were shut down, he still had to go out to work. We worried about him. Was he going to be okay? And what was he home to us? I mean, yeah, we had the hand sanitizer and the soap and the masks, but still, there's that fear. And then we have a 6-year-old. He was 5 during the pandemic and turned 6. Well, he finished kindergarten online. And as a matter of fact, he's just across the way from me right now, completing some first grade lessons online. And it's been hard to see life as being normal. Recency effect is tough, but those with the greatest confidence are immune to recency effect. Next, understanding the Losada ratio can impact how confidently you communicate and how confidently you show up in the world. Chilean psychologist Marcial Losada indicates corporate impact requires a 3-to-1 ratio. For every one negative experience a client has with a company or a brand or corporation, it can take at least 3 positive experiences for that client's perception of the corporation, the brand, the company to turn around, to improve. A similar application can be made to the communication efforts of the most confident people. They know, they know that they may not get a chance again to turn around the impression that they made on someone. For every negative exchange you have with a person, you may need at least 3 positive exchanges with that same person in order for that person to see you as the confident person that you are. The most confident people know that words have power, and they know that they speak volumes about that person. They therefore know they have one chance to make an impact, and they may not have those other opportunities to change the impact that they make with their words. So understanding the Losada ratio can impact how you communicate and how you show up with utmost confidence. You see, the world is a pot of boiling water, and you have 3 choices. You have 3 choices in the matter. You can absolutely decide that you are going to be the carrot. You can be the carrot and allow the boiling water to turn you soft and sad and weak. You can be the egg and allow the boiling water to turn you hard, to turn you mad, mean, nasty. Or you can be the coffee bean, and you are one who makes the changes to the boiling water and not the other way around. You can make changes that fuel an environment where you feel propelled to shine, where you feel propelled to be personally invested, to learn from both the failures and the successes. You can make changes that you are in a position to creatively deal with obstacles. You can make changes that fuel you to constantly ask, how can I turn this around? Now, how is that done? You might ask. How do I create this environment? It's all in how you speak up to get the results you want. It's all in how you speak up to get the results you want. How many of you remember this little device? How many of you remember this gizmo? It came out in 2006. It's not the Palm Pilot. It's not the BlackBerry. This is a device that Bridgett owned. And one thing you have to know about Bridgett is she's cheap. Okay. Now she drives an expensive vehicle and carries expensive handbags and so on and so forth. But let me tell you, she'll wear that handbag. She'll wear that expensive handbag with some flip-flops from Target on her feet. So I'm very cheap. So this wasn't the BlackBerry. It wasn't the Palm Pilot. This was the Motorola. It came out in 2006, and by 2007, I had one. Now, my husband and I have our 6-year-old son. When he was probably about 2 or 3 years old, he found my Motorola Q. And of course, you know, at this point, he's, what is he? It's the year 2016 to 2017. So I've had this thing for nearly a decade at this point. So of course, it's not charged, it's not working, nothing's going on with this thing. But he taps the screen, nothing happens, of course. Then he holds down the button in the center of it and he yells something like, Siri, play my video. Well, Siri wasn't even around. It wasn't a thing in 2006, 2007. So of course, a decade later, nothing's happening. So he ends up in the device somewhere in a corner, and I've yet to find it. I need to find it because I always have to show this slide as opposed to having the team show me actually holding the device. I need to try to find that device. So what ends up happening is he tosses it into a corner somewhere and goes in search of a snack. The thing is, that is the perfect illustration of what happens when we're not communicating the way other people like for us to communicate with them, when we're not showing up as our most confident selves. The most confident people communicate with people in ways they like. That phone, that device was not communicating with him the way he needed it to communicate with him. The most confident people know everybody does not communicate the same way they communicate. Now, there are all kinds of communication theories out there. For the sake of this conversation, we're just going to touch on 4, but there are tons of theories, tons of preferences. They run the gamut. We're going to focus on 4, and I want you to think about which one sounds like you. So there's one called connection seekers. And since this is a career connectors event, we're probably all connection seekers. Okay, lame. So connection seekers, those are the ones who need a feeling of personal rapport. They need emotional acceptance. They need to know that they're more than just a number on a roster, than just a name on a list. These are the ones who desperately isn't a very positive word, is it? But I mean it in a good way. They really need to feel that human connection. And for connection seekers, this time in this pandemic, and the fact that we're meeting virtually, this is a challenge for connection seekers. That's how they thrive. It's being able to relate with others and have others relate to them. Now, the second type of communicator is going to be the honesty seeker. And see, with the honesty seeker, they need to know that what you're communicating is logical, that it's accurate, and it fits with what they know. The bottom line with them is what you're saying must make sense. It needs to be clear. It needs to be free of flim flam. Don't try to pull fast ones on them. Result seekers is our third type of communicator, our third type of confident communicator. And they need to know what the bottom line is and how they can use what's being discussed. With them, you simply want to cut to the chase. Don't dance through the daisies, roam through the roses, or tiptoe through the tulips. Just go on and give them the real deal. Give them the actual factual. Don't give them a lot of fluff. And then finally, number 4, that's the energy seekers. They're the ones who need a feeling of excitement, discovery. They need a sharing of energy. They're thinking lights, camera, action, bring it. They want you to look alive. Now, can you be all 4 of these? Absolutely. At any given time, you may have to tap into being a connection seeker. You may have to tap into being an honesty seeker, a results seeker, or an energy seeker. You may have to be any one of those. And that's what the most confident people do. We'll get more into that a little bit later. But you can be any one of these at any given time. But there's going to be one that you are 51% of the time. But your style or your communication preference can cause you to be misunderstood. It can cause you to almost lose a sense of confidence for just a second, maybe, or maybe longer than that. With your style causing you to be misunderstood, challenges can arise. Case in point, there's this man and his wife, and they get into this argument, and they end each other the silent treatment. One is not about to be the first to speak. The man's not about to speak first. The woman's not about to break the silence either. The next day, though, the man, the husband, flight to catch. He's got a 7:30 a.m. flight. Oh, he's got to be up at 5:30, no later than 5:30 a.m. He is a hard sleeper. I can relate. I sleep through alarms. It's not healthy. It's not good. I've got to figure that out. So I get it. So the husband relies on his wife to make sure she wakes him up. Okay. Especially when he's got to travel. But he cannot be the one who speaks first. They're mad at each other. So what does he do? Because he relies on her to make sure that he's up and he's out. So he decides to get a Post-it note and he writes on it, "Wake me up at 5:30. and he puts the Post-it note on her nightstand. Clever. That should do the trick. So they go to bed, retire for the evening. He wakes up the next morning, glances over at his nightstand, and he is in a state of panic. It is 7 a.m., friends. It's 7 a.m. His flight is in 30 minutes. There is no way he is getting to the airport, at least not on time to catch that 7:30 flight. I mean, they're closing the doors in 20 minutes. And more importantly, he is furious. His wife didn't wake him up. He wrote the note on the Post-it. What? But wait a minute. He looks at his own nightstand, and right there by the alarm clock, he sees a Post-it note. It reads, "Wake up. It's 5:30. Your style can cause you to be misunderstood. It can result in gaps. It can result in a dropping of balls and unfortunate consequences. When you're misunderstood, it's unfair. It makes you feel less than confident. You see, connection seekers are misunderstood as people who are wasting time. Connection seekers are going to be the ones who ask you, how was your weekend? Or if there's a 3-day weekend coming up, if there's a holiday coming up on Monday, they're going to ask you, hey, what are your plans for the long weekend? They're going to ask about your family. They're going to ask about your new pet goldfish named Fluffy. They want to know about you and get to know you. They see you as a person, but they're misunderstood as wasting time. That can cut into their confidence. But I'm going to talk to you about how you fix that. Honesty seekers, they ask a lot of questions. They're trying to put the pieces together. They're seen as being difficult, which is a misunderstanding. They just need to know and feel confident that what you're telling them, they can take that information and use it elsewhere and feel confident and powerful in repeating your message. They just want to make sure they have all of their ducks in a row. Results seeker, those are seen as being short and aggressive. They're the ones who will ask the yes, no, black, white, open, close questions. And that's all they want. They want the one word answer, nothing more. Give it to them. Because see, the thing with them is they're already 20 questions ahead. They're already thinking about how they're going to use that information to work on something else. Their brains are spinning 100 miles a minute, but they're misunderstood as being short and aggressive. And then energy seekers are seen as being over the top. You look at them and thinking, hey, sister, girl, you're on a 10 and I need you to turn it down to about a 6. But for them, they believe in showing up in the world and bringing light and bringing love. They don't know any other way to be any less would just be a detriment to them. The most confident people know that what is required is that you style stretch and you understand how to ensure your messages reach everybody else. The most confident people know that their messaging must always reach the people they need it to reach. So let me give you a very easy way to do that. With everybody, start with small talk. But if you start getting short answers, you likely have a results seeker in front of you. But for everybody, start with small talk. If the small talk is reciprocated, if the person you're talking with is picking up what you're putting down and they're engaging in the small talk with you, you likely have a connection seeker. Continue along that vein. Ask about them. Give them time to see how they feel. Show them that you value them. However, short answers, you've got a results seeker. So that means, bottom line, skip the fluff, skip the details, emphasize the practicality and the utility of what you have to offer, of the information that you're giving. Don't give them information just for the sake of giving information. They're sitting there, how am I going to use this? What am I going to do with this? Okay. If you have someone who starts asking for you to send them an email message or to text them or to direct them to a website or send them a brochure, you probably have an honesty seeker. Always be ready with a written plan for them. You don't have to have it right there, Johnny spot or Jilly on the spot, but be prepared that you might have to provide that later. That's what the most confident communicators do. That's how you show up. You show up ready and provide them with accurate details. Be logical, downplay the emotions, cite your sources. That's what works with honesty seekers. With energy seekers, energy first. And it's not about being loud. It's not about being overly dramatic, overly animated. Right now, I'm not overly dramatic. Right now, not overly animated. But you hear, you feel my energy. You can tell that I'm putting energy first. Tell it in my eye focus. You can tell it with my shoulders being back. I'm not slumped in a chair. I look like I want to be here. I look like I am mentally and physically present in this moment. That is an energy seeker. Keep it alive. Keep it exciting. For them, leave out the details. Explore the possibilities and think big picture. In every single instance, you want to smile and have a fabulous attitude. It'll always bode well. The most confident people know that their messaging must always reach the people they need it to reach. And it has to motivate those people to move and act in the ways you need them to move and act. An old man is sitting on a street corner. He has a sign and a little tin cup. The sign reads, "I am blind, please help me." Several people have been passing this man with his sign and his cup, and no one has put a dime in that cup. A young lady is walking by on the sidewalk. She happens to work at the marketing agency down the street. She stops, she looks at his sign. She reaches into her satchel, gets a marker out. She takes his sign, turns it over, writes something on it, and then hands the sign back to the man so that the new message is showing to the world. In short order, something happens. People start dropping money into the cup, dollar bills, coins, whatever they have. Well, what happened? We all know it must have been something she wrote on that sign that turned things around. What she wrote was, "It is a beautiful day and I cannot see it." A confident person knows your messaging must always reach the people you need it to reach. And it has to motivate them to move and act in the ways you need them to move and act. Know what you want. Know how to communicate it in a way to ensure you get what you want. And that's what confident people do. Instead of focusing on not working, instead of focusing on bad experiences, which so many of us tend to do, that's just what we do as humans. Instead, focus on what is working. Focus on your successes. If you find yourself overthinking a miscalculation, automatically flip a switch and think about all of the things that did go right. If you find yourself in a slump, if you find yourself where one day or 1 week just didn't work out, where you made a misstep, stop and journal and make a list of everything that did go well, whether it was sitting down for dinner with your family, whether if it was going for a walk, taking the healthy route as opposed to driving your car, your bike to the. Think about any little small positive ray of light in the day. I'm serious. Do this the next time. It works. And I'm not one of those, whatever kind of people where I'm always giving you the fluff type stuff. That works. That works. I've done it myself, where the day just seemed like, ugh. And I say, you know what? Hold on. There were some things that did work. The most confident people, extraordinarily confident people, face discomfort head on. They never choose the easy route. They face discomfort head on to get what they want, and they push themselves out of their comfort zones, and they get rid of those annoying internal voices that say you are limited in what you do. They trust their abilities. They know they will come out on top, and they push others to believe the same in themselves. Tim S. Grover is world-renowned for his work with championship and Hall of Fame athletes. And he is an international authority on sports performance and motivation. He wrote a book entitled Relentless: From Good to Great to Unstoppable. And he identifies 3 types of athletes in the book. He calls them the cooler, the closer, and the cleaner. Today, I am going to call them the cooler, the closer, and the confident one. The cooler, according to Grover, is the person who gets everybody riled up and cranked up and emotional before the game. The closer is the person who gets him or herself cranked up and emotional and revved up before the game. Then there's the confident one. This is a person who never gets cranked up, who never gets emotional. This person remains cool and calm and saves it all for game day. The confident one saves it all for when it matters, when it's time to perform, to ensure you're always ready to perform, that you have the confidence necessary for game day. And a confident person, every day is game day. You put in place the 4 pillars of effective communication. You pay attention to how you look, how you sound, what you say, and you say it. The confident one puts in place what's necessary for game day. And that means paying attention to how you look, how you sound, what you say, how you say it. Because see, when you are confident, you keep pushing yourself harder when everybody else has had. When you are confident, you know exactly who you are. When you are confident, not intimidated by pressure, you thrive on it. When you are confident, when everybody else is hitting the in case of emergency panic button, everybody's looking at you because you've got your act together. When you are confident, you make decisions, not suggestions. You know the answer while everybody is asking questions. When you are confident, you pay close attention to how you look, how you sound, what you say, and how you say it. How you sound, how you say, what you say, how you. First off, how you look sends a message without you having to say a word. Sylvie DeGusto, the author of The Image of Leadership, shared in a presentation I attended of hers back in April of 2018, and she shares this in her book too, that people make a judgment about you within the first 7 seconds of seeing you. 7 seconds. Fairly or unfairly, accurately or inaccurately, consciously or subconsciously. As such, you want to control as much as possible the message your look sends people. Now, let's be clear. It's just about your attire. It's everything about your appearance. It's everything about your appearance. Are you shut up with your head up, your shoulders back, your eyes laser focused? We all make judgments though. And to illustrate this, a quick demonstration. I'm going to have the team share with you a quick deck. And there are several people. Each slide is going to have a couple of people on it. And we are going to ask you to identify which person you would choose, if you will. I need you to type in the chat the number of the slide, as well as the letter L or the letter R based on the question. So let's do a practice round. Number 1, which one of these would you ask for directions? The one on the left or the one on the right? No right or wrong answers. We just want to illustrate that we make judgments without knowing anything about people. Let me open up you see what y'all are picking. Oh, okay. Igor, really? Igor writes, both, honestly. Okay, so we've got a mix here. Okay, how about this one? which one of these would you vote for governor? Who wants to talk about politics right now? I know, Bridgett, really, what are you thinking? But, just indulge me. The one on the left or the one on the right? I mean, there's no good answer nowadays. We don't know who to pick. We don't know what to do anymore. Okay, how about this one? Which one would you hire for a position? The one on the left, the one on the right? Yeah, the one on the left, right? He's got the laptop. He's ready to go. He's ready to get down to business. How about this one? Which one is smarter? No. Which one is smart? Which one is smart? Sorry, which one is smart? Not smarter. Which one is smart? Which one is smart? The one on the left, the one on the right? Interesting. Okay, last one. Which one? No, two more. Next one. Which one is more responsible? Which one is more responsible? The one on the left, the one on the right? Which one is more responsible? Slide number 5, the one on the left, the one on the right? Yeah, several people are saying the one on the right. That's an easy one, Bridgett. I mean, come on. But he may be irresponsible. Who knows what he has in that satchel? And then finally, which one would you cast in a movie role? The one on the left, the one on the right? I know, right? You're thinking, yeah, seriously? What kind of movie is it? What kind of role is it? Yeah. People make judgments about us with limited to no information. As a result, you must control your image as much as possible. How you look sends a message without you having to say a word. So one thing I want you to do, and this is what the most confident people do, is smile. Smile when you talk, smile when you're on the phone, smile when you are on a webinar, smile when you are out and about. Smile. It is contagious. Not only does it make you sound more pleasant when you speak, but it gives you an air of confidence. People can hear a smile on the phone or on your audio only webinar, or they can hear a smile on Clubhouse, the latest rage in the app world. A smile is synonymous with friendliness, and it makes you look approachable and composed, and it makes you look and sound confident. Besides, it's far better than a frown. We're going to use the acronym SMILE to help us understand, how does this build confidence? How does this make us feel 10 feet tall? S, people who smile give off a sense of strength and certainty. M, when you smile, people want to be around you because there's something magical about you. I, a smile is infectious. It is nearly impossible to pass a smiling person and not also smile yourself. You may say, Bridgett, at the time of this conversation, we're in the middle of a pandemic. We're all walking around with masks on. Nobody can see me smiling, but they can see it in your eyes. Do it anyway. It makes you feel good on the inside. L, those who smile demonstrate to the world that they are loved. E, smiles give you a positive energy. You feel and look totally empowered and ready to take on things. Also, with how you look, you have just those few seconds to make an impression on a person, and how you walk into a room is a part of that judgment. Shoulders back, head up, eyes laser focused, and a friendly but confident smile on your face send silent messages to everyone listening and watching. It demonstrates you have pride in yourself and that you are indeed confident. One of my absolute favorite techniques is this one. First, I need you to do me a favor. Post in the chat the title of a song that makes you feel like you're working on sunshine. There's a little instant for you. Post in the chat a sign that just makes you a song, the title song that makes you feel like $1,000,000, like the tallest one in the room, the song that makes you feel like the baddest one in the building. What is that song? What is that song? Think about that song and walk to the beat of that song as it plays in your mind. This is my favorite strategy. You will not only look and feel unstoppable, but others will see and know you are unstoppable. Now, before getting into how you sound. That's the second tenet. I need you to type in the chat how tall you think I am. Type in the chat, how tall do you think I am? I know you're saying, Bridgett, really? This is a virtual session. We cannot see you. We don't know how tall you are. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I can judge by your background. I'm sure this isn't fair. I'm getting 5'6", 5'11", 5'9", a couple of 5'2s. It is cheating, Cassia, if you've already met me. This is definitely for people who have not met me. It's all good. 5'8". All right. Keep those answers coming. You're doing a fantastic job. A lot of good answers. Here. So keep those coming. Check this out. There's a direct correlation between the sound of a person and height. And taller people are regarded with greater respect and greater authority than those who are shorter in stature. Research conducted by a team led by Nancy M. Blaker from the VU, University of Amsterdam, and the University of Oxford suggests tall people have an advantage over shorter individuals in terms of status, prestige, and leadership. Taller people are seen as more leader-like and more dominant, more intelligent. Again, there's a direct correlation between the sound of a person's voice and height. The more control and confidence are conveyed in a person's voice, the taller that person is perceived to be. The more control and confidence are conveyed in a person's voice, the greater respect and authority will you garner. I know this because I am 5'1". There's a direct correlation between the sound of a person's voice and height. Therefore, it is imperative you find and use your ideal speak voice and your perfect pitch so you always sound confident. If your pitch is too high, then it makes you sound anxious, nervous, or not in control. In short, it can diminish credibility and your confidence. A high pitch combined with a nasally speech is equally damaging. This combination can make it hard for the listener to understand you, and frankly, the sound of your voice is kind of annoying. But I digress. At the same time, if your pitch is too low, or if you sink into using vocal fry, the lowest vocal register that has that creaking or croaking sound to it, you sound bored and tired and disinterested. To find your ideal speaking voice so your pitch is not too high or too low, you need to hum the happy birthday song. The tone you hear as you hum the song is the tone you should use when you speak. So you sound confident, you make it easier for others to understand your message, and you increase the confidence with which you are regarded. Let's move on to what you say. Toot your horn and toot the horns of others. Show how amazing you are and believe it. No one will know what you have accomplished. No one, unless you tell people. It is not being braggadocious or pompous, unless you do it entirely too much. Okay, we know those types. It is being a self-promoter. If you do not toot your own horn, then how can you rely on somebody else to do it for you? You cannot. Besides, people who are quick to point out how unstoppable they are also the ones everyone notices and believes is unstoppable. Sell yourself like you are the best thing to hit shelves since Coca-Cola or San Pellegrino sparkling water, and others will believe it too. Think about it. Whether someone says, yeah, I do an all right job, versus I do amazing work, you form an impression of that person in either instance, and you tend to believe in it. Similarly, elevate others. Every time you speak of someone or make an introduction, do so in terms that makes the listener excited to be in community with the person of whom you're speaking. But that's not enough. You have to not only think about what you say, but also how you say it. A quick story. A priest and a pastor from the local churches are standing by the side of the road, and they're pounding a sign into the ground that reads, "The end is near. Turn yourself around before it's too late." As a car speeds past them, the driver yells, "Leave us alone, you're religious nuts, come on." The pastor and the priest hear screeching tires and a big splash. The pastor turns to the priest and asks, "Do you think the sign should just read, 'Bridge out'?" Carefully scrutinize words and your ideas, paying keen attention to the entire packaging of your message. That's what the confident people do. Avoid being too quick to speak up without first analyzing how you want your message to be received. Take ample opportunity to organize your thoughts and ensure you produce a quality message, even if it is to say only a few words. Before you speak, ask yourself, you are about to offer up power. Ask yourself if what you are saying is P positive. Does it focus more energy on what's working than on what's not? Positive. O, open-minded. Allow room for other points of view. W, worthwhile. Make sure your message always adds value. E, effective. Endeavor to say what will have the right impact on others. R, relevant. Have a message that is applicable to your listeners, where it is one where people will lean in, take note, and take action. And as always, think before you speak. But what I mean is we're going to use the acronym THINK. Ask yourself, is what I'm about to say thoughtful, helpful, important, necessary, kind? Is what I'm about to say thoughtful, helpful, important, necessary, kind? If the answer is no to any one of those, then it is time to revise your messaging. Listen, get 52 strategies, one for each week of the year, on how to show up as your most confident self when you get a copy of my book, Show Up and Show Out, available online at Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Listen, how many of you would take this money if we were in person? How many of you would take this money if we were in person? Yeah, of course. Yeah, you just raise your hand. You know, Bridgett, I would take that money. What you talking about, girl? That's a rhetorical question. Okay, what if I crumpled it up? Would you still take it? And now it's not all nice and fresh, yeah? What if I were to rip it? What if I ripped it? Would you still take it? Yeah, you would still take the money. Of course you would take the money. Everybody's like, okay, Bridgett, get to the point. Okay, we got 45 seconds, lady. People around us, including some of us, have been crumpled up. We've been ripped. We've been torn. But like this money, their value does not change. The worth of our lives comes not in what we do or who we know, but how we demonstrate our care and our respect for each other and the way we communicate with each other. The value of your life comes from ensuring your communication is always of a caliber that helps everyone see, and you see, your confidence through and through. Communication and confidence that helps people see you walk that walk and talk that talk. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. You've been awesome. I'm going to post to the chat the titles of the books that I mentioned. I'm going to turn things back over to Jessica. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Bridgett. This is a virtual clap. So if everyone wants to give Bridgett a clap. Thank you so much, Bridgett. We really appreciate you kicking us off this year and getting us moving in the right direction. So we just love having you here. So grab her book. It's amazing. And we really appreciate all you do to serve our community. So thank you for being here. All right, you guys, we are now moving over to our hiring companies section. And the first speaker I'd like to bring on is Heather. She is a director of global talent acquisition and responsible for the vision, leadership planning and execution of the global talent acquisition strategy for Isola. She has over a decade of experience in technical and analytics recruiting, specifically in business intelligence, data, project management, software engineering. Prior to this, and how I met Heather was she was the senior manager of talent acquisition at Vixo. She was a recruitment business partner for a global population health management company, Orion Health. And then she's also been a technical recruiter for early warning services. She has a bachelor's of arts in communication, a minor in PR from University of Pittsburgh, and she has a recruitment marketing and SPHR certification. So please help me welcome Heather to our event. Good morning.
Thank you, Jessica. I greatly appreciate it. I'm very excited to be here today, as always, and attending your events and meeting some wonderful people. And I'm looking to, Sheila, can you move the slide for me? Because oh, there it is. Never mind. I got it. So I'm not sure how many of you or if any of you know Isola. I'll be completely transparent with you. Before I came to the organization, I wasn't familiar with them as well. But we are a very interesting and unique organization. We have been around for about 108 years. We started in 1912 in Düren, Germany. And what we do is we create the raw materials that you find in an advanced printed circuit board. So if you were to take a printed circuit board and to cut it and look at the side of it and the small thin layers that you find in that printed circuit board, that is what we do. We have about 16, our global headquarters is based in Chandler, Arizona. We do have about 1,600 employees worldwide. We do have a global footprint. So we have 2 locations in the US, one in Chandler and one in Bridgeway, South Carolina. And then we also have an operation in Düren, Germany, where we were founded. And then we also have locations in Hong Kong, Singapore, China, and Taiwan. We are the largest material producer, laminate producer in the United States and Europe. We have 7th in share worldwide. We are an industry leader in technology with 185 patents. And I don't know why this keeps moving. Transform to deliver greater customer, employee, and investor value. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that we have 3 R&D centers. We just opened a new research and development center in our Chandler facility. It's state of the art. And then we also have one in Singapore. And then we also have a small facility in Germany as well. So what is our mission? Our mission is to improve life by enabling innovation and electronics products. One of the things that I can tell you that was very exciting when I first started with Isola was to find out that almost every ventilator that was built this summer in response to the pandemic had our raw materials in it. So all the raw materials that we create were used by the PCB manufacturers that actually build the printed circuit boards that were used for the ventilators in the healthcare space. Also, you know, we work in communication, transportation, education, consumer electronics, and then also defense. So some of our core values is first and foremost is put safety first. You know, we always, every day, all day, prioritize the safety and well-being of our employees above everything else. Be collaborative. You know, we work as a global team across functions and support each other professionally and personally. Be accountable. When we make a commitment, we take full responsibility and we follow through. Be courageous. We embrace change. We speak up when we disagree and we move forward committed. And also one of our big core values and one of a big focus for us is be customer focused. You know, we deliver quality solutions, we listen to our external and internal customers, and we always work to gain their loyalty. Some of the opportunities that we have right now is I will be, haven't started the search yet, but I will be looking for a global compensation analyst. I'm looking for a global industrial engineer. I'm looking for multiple machine operators, a maintenance technician, which, to be in full transparency, I think that role got put on hold, but it was put on hold after I sent this to you, Jessica. A senior applications engineer, and then a senior signal integrity engineer as well is another role that I'm looking for. As Jessica mentioned in the beginning, we are currently doing a ramp up in our plant in Chandler, where we've done some hiring and we are in production, but we are looking to ramp up production effective March 1st. So we are, we'll be starting to, are actually hiring in those areas. So again, we're looking for operators, machine operators, materials, packers on the supply chain side. So there's a variety of different roles. So if you went to our website at www.isola-group.com/careers, you'll find all the different current opportunities that we have there. You're also welcome to connect with me directly on LinkedIn after this event, and I'm happy to have a conversation with you or connect with me in the chat room. Isola does offer really good benefits. We do pay quite a significant portion of the benefits as it relates to your medical, dental, and vision. We also offer 401k, short-term, long-term disability, personal time off, so on and so forth. So it is a really cool company to work for. It's exciting to be in this space, you know, doing the things that we do, creating the materials that we create, knowing that we're making an impact across the world globally with our raw materials.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, good. We just dropped in the chat the link for to go to apply for the jobs. And so if you're seeing the chat, you guys, there is a clickable link. There we go. And Heather also has her information on this slide as well. Again, we aren't sending out the slides, but we will have this playback available on our website. It's also hosted on Facebook, and we're doing a recap blog. So this will be out there. So thank you again, Heather. We are so glad you guys are here.
You're welcome.
All right. So now another new company that we recently met. Mandy is here today, and she's a recruiting coordinator at Robinhood. And I assume you go by Mandy. You put Amanda in your name. So Amanda or Mandy. She lives in San Francisco, but is focusing on building out Robinhood's brand new office in Tempe. She loves making connections and helping people find their dream job at Robinhood and beyond. And she's looking forward to chatting with you and answering any questions you have about this company. Again, I learned about them a couple months ago, and we're super excited you guys are here. So welcome, Amanda.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. As mentioned, I'm Amanda, but friends, family call me Mandy, so more than welcome to do either. And I'm here, of course, on behalf of Robinhood Recruiting to chat about what it's like to work at Robinhood and how to apply for some of our open roles. If you haven't heard of Robinhood before, no worries. In short, we're a licensed brokerage app where our users make investments and do so much more. So I'm happy to dive in and talk more about that. Alrighty, so I'm going to start today off with a quote back from our founding years in 2014. As mentioned, newer company began in 2014, and this is kind of what paved the way of our mission. So we've embarked on a big mission to create a better way for the next generation to invest. Today, the average individual has to pay up to $10 per trade, and we believe there's something inherently wrong with that, and we are on a path to change it. Alrighty. So since then, at Robinhood, our mission has been to democratize finance for all. Historically, let's be honest, investing can be seen as kind of an overwhelming thing that many people are a little afraid to jump into because they may not have the foundational knowledge and how to make investing decisions, or even just where to get started with opening an investing portfolio. I know I was definitely one of these people. Again, so at Robinhood, our mission is to democratize finance for all, which essentially means simplifying investing and making it an accessible wealth creation engine for all people, regardless of your background, while also providing learning opportunities for first-time investors to feel comfortable talking about money and then investing in general. So our platform helps customers learn and invest properly. So how do we do this? We offer commission-free investing and trading through stocks, ETFs, options, select cryptocurrencies, and cash management, all while removing barriers to enter, like account minimums that had long prevented many from being able to get started with investing in the past. We've also created educational resources for first-time investors and experienced investors alike that include Robinhood Learn, which is basically an online library and FAQ used to prepare new investors with the basics of investing. Robinhood Snacks, which is our podcast. It's very entertaining in my opinion. And our in-app news feed as well, which provides real-time news and analysis for the daily stock trader right in your Robinhood app. So you're always up to date and informed. So to sum it up, we really are here to help investors of all experience levels invest successfully and enjoy the process of doing so. We've even noticed that many of our users check the Robinhood app multiple times a day and truly enjoy the experience of using our product. I'll go to the next slide here. Alrighty, so here we have a graph that kind of shows the beginning in 2014 up to 2020 and beyond, and kind of the products and iterations we've adapted, as well as our customer growth. So from Robinhood's founding until today, this graph plots the upward trajectory of the ways we've been able to improve the customer experience in relation to our growing and loyal customer base since 2014. So we're currently at about 13 million plus approved customer accounts. And interestingly enough, out of these accounts, about 50% identify as first-time investors. And on average, the age of our user is about 31 years old, which is quite a bit younger than we've seen in the past with more traditional brokerages before Robinhood. So at 13 million plus approved accounts, we are one of the fastest growing brokerages in terms of customer accounts. And because of this, we are continuing to grow our employee count to keep up and be able to continuously provide our customers with the best experience possible. And of course, always keep the customers at the heart of every decision that we make. So speaking of growing our full-time employee count, what is it like to work at Robinhood? We'll just go over a high-level culture overview of Robinhood. At Robinhood, the bottom line is fostering a diverse and inclusive culture is very important to us. Join us for an excellent work environment that's both fun, rewarding, and with lots of opportunities to grow. A way we're currently building an inclusive work environment is through our employee resource groups, or ERGs, which are voluntary groups led by members and allies who join together to really work on creating an inclusive workplace. Some of our current ERGs are Sisterhood, Rainbowhood, which is our LGBTQ group, Black Excellence, Parenthood, Latinhood, Veterans, and Asianhood. And the best thing is at your time at Robinhood, you can create and start new groups as we grow. Additionally, Robinhood has been recognized as a great place to work, a CNBC Disruptor 50, and a LinkedIn Top Startup for the past 4 years. Additionally, announced just yesterday, Robinhood has been named a Glassdoor Best Place to Work in 2021. So we're super excited about that new award. So this is a snapshot of our culture at Robinhood, but I also asked our site lead for our Tempe office what culture at Robinhood meant to her. And she said, in Tempe, we're on fire about fostering a culture of collaboration, inclusion, excellence, and fun to deliver on insane customer experiences each day. So our team in Tempe is growing quite rapidly. It's one of our newer offices, just opened at middle of 2020. We're all currently working remote right now, but we're super excited to reopen, enjoy the new space once it is safe to do so, of course. Okay, next slide. Let's see. There we go. Just a couple benefits and perks for working at Robinhood. I won't read through everything, but just a high level. Some benefits and perks Robinhood have include a competitive salary, comprehensive medical, dental, and vision, 16 weeks of fully paid parental leave, and even a monthly health and wellness stipend that you can use at your discretion. We also, since we are all currently working from home, we do offer a one-time remote work setup stipend to buy equipment to make your home workspace more comfortable for you, a monthly internet stipend, and also up to 6 weeks of PTO, paid time off in the event of an illness or to care for a dependent or family member that's been affected by a COVID-related closure. So that sums up what it's like to work at Robinhood and what we're off to achieve at Robinhood, how to apply and what kind of open roles we have. All of our open roles are listed at careers.robinhood.com, and you can filter by location, so you can filter to just show roles at the Tempe office. Right now, we currently have about 10 open roles for Arizona, but with that being said, we're hiring in large volumes for multiple of these roles, like our registered customer experience representative position and our options support representative position. So we are growing very, very rapidly. We're probably looking to hire, like, I don't want to say an exact number, but probably around 100 people by the end of the year, maybe more, just in Tempe alone. So our Tempe office is mostly dedicated to our customer experience team, but we also do have a number of non-customer facing roles as well. And we'll continue to open new roles in the months to come, and everything online will be kind of alive, up to date, list of what we are hiring for. So yeah, definitely encourage an online application, but also I'd love to connect with you on LinkedIn. I'll drop my contact info in the chat as well. And I really hope to hear from some of you in the future.
Great. Thank you, Amanda. Appreciate your overview. Excited again to have you guys here. So thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right. So I'm going to spend a few minutes here to close us out, to give you guys some resources, and then we're going to provide the opportunity to meet with any of our speakers today, or also go into any coaching rooms. And so first of all, we are asking for some feedback from you. And the way we do this is we do a quick, just a pop-up questionnaire. I think there'll be 4 questions, and Sheila will launch it. And
hey, Jessica, it's not cooperating. I'm sorry.
Okay, so it's not working today, which happens sometimes in this tech world. So instead, if you have any feedback for us, please just shoot us an email at contact@careerconnectors.org. And we would love your feedback about any topics you'd like to see us talk about, ideas, any pluses or minuses about today. We'd love to hear it. And we do read everything you guys send us. So shoot that over. We would love your feedback. All right, thank you to all of our partners that make these programs happen virtually for now, and then eventually we'll be back face-to-face as well again. We did decide as a team that we are keeping these virtual events because they have been very successful. So we will keep them, but we will also hopefully be able to launch live again, face-to-face soon. All right, we have partnered with Best Companies AZ. When the pandemic hit last year, we pulled our resources together and put together this website, bestcompaniesaz.com/resources. And what we have there is verified companies that are hiring, and we keep adding to it, but it's around 70 that we have listed. And then we also partnered with Arizona at Work, Maricopa County, and have added an additional over 100 more companies towards the bottom of the website, if you take a look at that. Additional job resources and employer resources as well. So that's a website we have available for you guys. Also, we have some resources, and on Bridgett talked today a lot about communication styles. So one of the tools we offer to you guys is called a DISC assessment. And on that assessment, it will talk about your communication style and the way that you hear information best. It'll also give you tips. It gives a one-sheeter of how you best engage with people of other styles. And so you can check out our DISC assessment. It doesn't cost anything. We have an agreement with Top Talent Consulting, so you can have it for free. Then also, I've mentioned a couple times the blog that we're doing. And then if you've ever gotten your photo taken with Career Connectors, our professional portraits are available on our website. We try to be on social media and engage in social media. So especially through LinkedIn, that's our #1 source. And I encourage all of you, if you are not actively using LinkedIn in your career change, in your transition, I encourage you to make sure you're doing that. I just heard a talk the other day by Gelly. She runs networkingphoenix.com, and she talked about 15 minutes a day. Part of your plan, 15 minutes a day on LinkedIn, and that is posting, engaging, following up, connecting with people. So 15 minutes a day on LinkedIn to be networking. We also are on Facebook and Instagram. Okay, we have some really cool things coming up here. The first one is January 26th, and so this is a couple weeks out. We have partnered with the City of Tempe Economic Development Team, and we are hosting a virtual career fair with the City of Tempe, along with multiple other partners, including Arizona at Work, Best Companies AZ, and the City of Tempe. And so the mayor will be kicking us off, and then we have invited 12 companies to speak and feature their positions. And so they're listed there. We have the range from entry level to executive. The predominant amount are those professional jobs that we tend to feature. And so you can join us on January 26th, and you can get to that from our website. It'll take you right over to the City of Tempe webpage to register. And part of the registration process, it's a little bit different than our normal process. this process will be collecting your resume, getting some information about you, so that we're working with Pipeline AZ to connect you to jobs. And so it's a great, great opportunity for you to be connected to opportunities in Tempe. And then on January 28th, we're going to have Michael Seaver finding generational similarities to improve communication. Again, this one's on communication, but it's more about when you're interviewing with people of a different generation, when you're networking with people of a different generation. We have Senlar, JP Morgan Chase, and Honor Health as our hiring companies on that day. And then February 11th, oh, Christy Staub, you guys, like when we said we wanted our dream team, Bridgett, Michael, and Christy were all at the top. Be the diamond in the rough, how to forge through fire and land your next job. And then we have ADOT, Upgrade, and Dexcom as our hiring companies on February 11th. All right, I mentioned this. Here's the Tempe Job Fair. You can go to tempe.gov/job fairs to register for this event. We have a link, it'll get you there too, but tempe.gov/job fairs. Those are the companies that we have coming. We did in a similar event end of last year, early December, and it was a great success. We had 12 different companies, the ones listed here, that are in Tempe and hiring, and we were able to connect them with hundreds of candidates. And so join us, register for this event, get your resume into the system, and we are super excited for this event to happen. All right, now, if you've ever been to one of our live events, you know that one of the great things we get to do is provide a professional photographer to take your business portrait. Most people use that business portrait on their LinkedIn profile, so we can't do that. But we have this awesome guy, Gordon Murray with Flash Photography, step up. And he said, I know you can't do that, but what I would love to do is provide an opportunity for people to get their headshots done. And so he has been, for the last couple months, traveling around the Phoenix area to have a location to take your photo. And so January 21st, he'll be in Southeast Phoenix. The 26th, he'll be in Chandler. February 3rd, he'll be in Northwest Phoenix. This does not cost you anything. This is part of Career Connector's nonprofit organization and part of what he is doing as a volunteer. He does take donations, so if you would like to provide him a donation, you are welcome to do that, but he is certainly not expecting it, and he has been amazing. So if you take hip up on that, if you are comfortable leaving your house and going to one of these photo sessions, it will just, he's doing it by appointment, so it'll be safe and you'll be able to get your headshot done. All right, so I had mentioned that we provide the website or the content from today on our website. So this is our homepage on our website. That bottom right box called CC Webinars, that's where you'll find this event today. So you can go in and review any of the events we've done since we went virtual back in April. You can find any of the events. There's ones on salary negotiation, LinkedIn, interviewing, tons of webinars that are posted there. We also have a couple other opportunities. I do a career chat. I haven't done one this year yet, but I was doing them a couple times a week, especially when the pandemic was hitting hard. And so we'll start up some of those again this year. But these are just 3 to 5 minute videos with some job tips and topics. Then we have a community update. So I have a couple things in there with interviews in there with community partners and resources. We have a really, really cool resume panel in there. We have a great LinkedIn interview in there and also panel. So if you're looking for that kind of information, those are available for you right in there. All right, so many volunteers make this happen, you guys. Still in the virtual world, we utilize a ton of volunteers. So thank you, Gian and Susan, all of our ladies from the Resume Writers Council of Arizona. And then these are your coaches that are helping out today. And so Jerry and Nana are resume experts, and Ted, Carl are really great when it comes to LinkedIn and career coaching. Gian is a finance guru, so any kind of budgeting kind of stuff. And then of course we have Amanda, and then I think Heather's sticking around too to have a room. So they will have rooms as well. All right, As many of you know, we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. And just like much business in 2020 and 2021, we've been hit significantly hard. And because of the donations of so many people this year that stepped up, we hit our budget literally by like $300. And so it was a little tense this year, to say the least. And so we are so thankful. And if you ever decide you would like to give back to Career Connectors, I would greatly appreciate it. So would our team. It cost us $42 to serve one person. I just want to tell you this story. It was December 27th, and somebody who had landed a job after going through Career Connectors, she's working now, and she sent us a $500 donation. I received it on December 27th. I sat in my car because I had gotten it from, we have a post office box. I had gotten it from the post office box. I opened it and I sat in my car and cried. Her $500 helped us meet our budget. And I was so grateful that we have been able to continue our program, been able to pivot, and it's not without these donations and without our partners, it would not have happened. So thank you to anybody who's given. And if you ever feel, once you land or ever while you're in transition, if you feel like you would like to give back, we would love it. So thank you very much. Okay, so now I would like to move over to the breakout session. And Sheila, I think you're going to take it from here, but before that,